Guarda, guarda, guarda la fiera, guarda, guarda la fiera, guarda la fiera, fiera la fiera, che pisa del tajo la pisa.
And I think there's a big debate out there to be had about that. We took a decision probably 8 or 9 years ago to change the name from chaplaincy to be a spiritual care team. Mostly because we realised that chaplaincy is a term that is largely used by the Christian churches and not necessarily a concept that is understood or used by other faiths. But of course we've actually found out that the whole process in general and concept of someone being on site is not necessarily one that other faiths are familiar with either. So quite often we find ourselves working between the two different terms.
Students from very diverse backgrounds. You could support the Muslim society, might have a little Muslim society at your college and a Christian society and perhaps a Jewish society, but it could be that they might never meet with each other. So you're still, what's reflected in wider society might still be reflected in your particular university. You might be delivering the same kind of spiritual care to right across the board. They might be joining in celebrations, but in terms of actually getting to know each other and building relationships, you need something. You need dialogue. You need people to actually sit at the table with each other from different traditions. And I think further education chaplains have the opportunity to do that, to go that one step further than just delivering the spiritual care, but creating a real sense of social harmony at the different further education colleges around Scotland. So I thought, I'm saying that Scotland is, supports interfaith dialogue, so I'll give you some evidence of that. And there has actually been local interfaith groups, people meeting in dialogue from different faith traditions since the 1970s in Scotland.
I was a consultant surgeon in Fort William for many years until I either had a midlife crisis and didn't buy a sports car, or something happened. But I took a master's in the study of religions in London, having resigned my post. Came back up to Scotland and joined the Scottish Interfaith Council and worked alongside inspiring people like Maureen here. It really has been a source of inspiration for the SIFC and my particular journey in interfaith. And I immediately started working with healthcare chaplaincy on an equality and diversity project, and we flew the flag of religion and belief in equality and diversity, produced this book called Religion and Belief Matter, a healthcare resource for all staff. And that's been followed up by, not my own work that I contributed to, it was Spiritual Care Matters. So we've got quite a number of documents, including a multi-faith resource for healthcare staff, a government document, Spiritual Care Matters, Spiritual Care and Chaplaincy, competencies and standards for chaplaincy. So we've been involved in doing that sort of work in developing the basis for why we need healthcare chaplaincy today in our health service.
And that's not without its problems, which I come on to. So we've got Christians of all stripes, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, Jain, Buddhist, Baha'i, pagan, humanist, and a smattering of chaplains, mostly Christians. Status of the pagan member is not uncontroversial. How can I get into this without spending all my time on it? The fact is that the council meets at Church House, which is the Anglican headquarters. But the problem is that the Pagan Federation is not one of the official dialogue partners of the Church of England. And we kind of just forget about that fact when it comes to having the council meetings at Church House. But it is a source of tension.
Y los ganados se dan por perdidos, mas ya ves sus intentos, mas ya ves sus intentos, nuestros frustrados, porque a Ildefonso se van sus válidos. A la prisma se echa el robo, que del vídeo la figura viene como noche obscura.